Tommy, when I was young, I used to be a fanboy. You ever been a fanboy about anything? You ever been
Oh,
exuberant about?
yeah. New Kids on the Block. Absolutely.
Up. Are you
I swear.
serious?
Yeah, I swear to God, I was the biggest New Kids on the Block fanboy ever. Went to
Wait,
see it at Saginaw Civic Center.
are you
Tiffany. Oh,
okay? I'm gonna admit something right now. I secretly was in the closet with New Kids on the Block. I liked them a lot, but I would not admit it to anybody ever.
was, I was as open as I was a flamboyant New Kids on the Block.
So
Yeah,
I guess
I wore pink MC Hammer pants. Remember MC Hammer pants, like
Absolutely.
the pants? Yeah, my aunt made me a huge pair of them. One pink, one I mean like neon pink, like really bright pink, and then neon yellow. And I wore the neon pink to their concert, and I had a Donnie Wahlberg T-shirt in Michael Jackson coat, leather coat with the sparkles, and a pink bandana. There's a picture of it somewhere. I swear to God, I'll try to find it in my parents' basement. There's a picture in a photo album of me going to the New Kids on the Block concert.
which is worse? Which is worse though, that Tommy had a pair of Hammer pants, or that his aunts made them for him? Which is worse?
Cousin wanted them. My cousin's older sister wanted. So my aunt was just like, you know what? I'll just make them for all of us. All of us can just look like fucking idiots everywhere we go.
Two things. One, did your aunt measure the inseam? And two, I guarantee those pictures still exist. They're on the internet. You're a meme somewhere. You've got to be.
And three.
I gotta find them. I know they're out there. I know. I've seen them within the past 2 years. I just got to find the correct photo book. I'm going to my parents on Sunday for Father's Day, so.
I have a third question, contingent on the first question. Does she still do the inseams, and can I have her number?
Now she makes skinny jeans for us.
Oh, no. Shit. That's not going to work for me.
I mean, it just depends what sort of vibe you're trying to throw out there, Dennis. I mean,
disgusting or morbidly obese, I don't think are things that we should throw out there.
Okay, well, I guess.
Although I will wear a black shirt that makes me look a little slimmer in the skinny jeans.
That's what Tommy does on stage. Look at you two. You're two peas in a fat pod. It's great.
It's the correct way to do it for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I was definitely in the closet with my New Kids on the Block love. I was in my mom and dad knew that I liked the stupid band, and they actually bought me a T-shirt. I remember I was in 4th grade. They bought me a New Kids on the Block T-shirt, and I was so pissed off. I was so angry at my mom. I'm like, how dare you know what I like?
Now, were you living in Flint at this time still?
Outside of Flint, yeah.
Okay, because you would have been murdered in Flint, I think.
Possibly, yeah. The only thing
for
worse,
wearing that shirt.
Yeah, the only thing worse would have been a Vanilla Ice shirt, I think, at that time.
Go Ninja, go Ninja, go.
I had a girlfriend at that time. Her name was Kathy, which my mom's name was Kathy too. So it always was kind of a mind fuck, anyways. And, and then she throws this out that she's a big fan of New Kids on the Block, and I'm like, so you're a lesbian? So why am I with you?
Yeah, you're like, who's hotter, Donatello or April O'Neil?
And every time she'd say April. That was my girlfriend, Kathy, not my mom, Kathy. I'd probably confused everybody.
Well, I was going to ask. That was my next question. I needed to clarify real quick. I'm like, hey, wait a minute here.
I mean, years later, I think my mom was probably turned lesbian as well. But that's different. That's a whole different story and a different.
Can't get together.
They may have. They're friends on Facebook.
Uh-oh.
That's how it all starts.
It really does. Facebook.
Yeah.
Facebook is the gateway to lesbianism.
Oh boy.
That's what Mark Zuckerberg was thinking when he started Facebook. Right? I knew it.
I knew it too. That's I knew it first. I just didn't say it first. You
Yeah.
did.
You wanted to keep quiet until I said it. Damn it.
I want to see if you get canceled. If you get canceled, then I'm going to be like, no, I did not even think that.
We haven't gotten canceled yet, have we, Tommy? We've been doing this for 9 years, and I'm surprised we haven't gotten canceled. One of these
I
days.
think some of the stuff that you edited out.
Maybe that should be the last episode. Like, this is the one.
Yeah.
We're signing off.
You're going to cancel us now, but we're done.
Yeah, this is the one where we kamikaze our entire lives. This is what we really think.
What is the rules on this podcast about burping? Because I have a tendency to burp during podcasts.
Oh, go for it.
Yeah, can you burp the ABCs or something?
No, I'm not an animal. I just burp sometimes. I'm drinking my my natty ices, and
Nice.
and sometimes that means you're going to burp a little bit.
It really
yeah.
does. Yeah, I wish I had a natty ice. That would have been a great pull for me, and I didn't get one.
What are you drinking tonight?
Well, I've got a Bud Light. It's right
Okay.
there. I see it. I love it.
Heineken.
Heineken. Ooh.
Yeah, I started out. Me and the beloved were working in the yard, so I started out with some Yangling Lights that I had from being in Indiana.
So you just drink fancy beers all day.
He's a fancy boy. He's a very fancy boy.
I go
His
to
aunt tailors his own jeans. How do you not know he's a fancy boy?
That should have been my first inclination right there.
Exactly.
No, I bought a couple cases of Yingling when I was in Indiana for comedy a couple weeks ago.
Oh, you leave the state too?
Yeah. Well, I'm not tethered like you did.
Story of my life.
I know, Dennis, you've been under house arrest for the last 25 years, but
Yeah.
the rest of us can actually leave and do things. It's amazing.
Yeah, everyone was bitching about, this whole COVID thing and being on lockdown. I'm like, what's the problem here?
On the even playing field now. Huh?
COVID brought me a lot of great things. Everyone delivers now groceries to my front door.
Right.
I could go weeks without even putting clothes on. Now, the neighbors, they have called the cops on me and stop that, but they're assholes.
Fuck them.
As I have my window open and the neighbors staring at me.
Yeah, what you do on the privacy of your unmowed lawn is none of their business.
Right.
Now, when I went to dinner with the beloved tonight, and it was a Mexican restaurant, and they asked me if I wanted a 16-ounce Dos Equis, a 25-ounce, or a 32-ounce. So, of course, 32-ounce, right?
Yeah. It's cost effective.
They asked me when I wanted another one because I'm an animal, and I finished 32 ounces of beer in like 20 minutes or less. And so I said, another 25-ounce. So, yeah, I've had quite a few.
Man.
But no liquor, so I think I'm okay.
Did you have any food at the Mexican restaurant?
Yeah.
Or did you just go to get drunk?
I should have. Yeah. I should. No, I had a big ass burrito, so yeah, that helps too.
Does any Mexican place make small ass burritos? Because every time you talk to someone, they're always like, "Oh yeah, they have big ass burritos, man. They're so fucking big."
Right.
No one's ever said, "Yeah, they got moderately average sized burritos at that place." But
yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, and I get the question because it's like, well, no, I get the burrito California. It's right around from Randy's parents' house, right there. Randy, you've probably been to this place. And
I doubt it. The
He's
burrito
Mexican.
California, that doesn't sound very Mexican.
I know.
No, there is a California in Mexico.
Okay. This is what the burrito looks like when it goes Hollywood.
Right.
They serve it with sunglasses on it because it's so big.
Absolutely.
Make you wear sunglasses when you eat it.
Yeah. You have to determine beforehand whether the burrito is a Scientologist or not.
Oh, Jesus. If it's bouncing around the plate, it's a Scientologist.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not a big Mexican food fan. I like the United, the U.S. type of Mexican food, like Taco Bell and Del Taco when I lived in California. But
It's the best. I've never eaten Del Taco, but I hear about it from my comedian friends. They say you better get a Del Taco.
It's amazing. Like the quality of the food is like a billion times better than Taco Bell. Like when I eat Taco Bell, this is gonna be unsavory, but every time I eat Taco Bell, when I put a burrito or a taco in my mouth, I know it's been fucked before it's gotten into my mouth. I know it has. That's why I specifically say sour cream on the side.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, that's funny. You know it's been dropped on the floor before they give it a wrap.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Dennis, when you were in California, did you ever order a burrito California?
No, it was actually called a burrito Michigan.
Oh, shit. Plot twist.
Nice.
When I was a young boy, even
when you was a young warthog.
When I was a young warthog.
Very good.
Yeah, I thought so.
Making sure everybody knows how much dorks we are now.
Yeah, well, I mean...
Note that Dennis did not sing with those two.
Oh, you're the coolest kid in school, aren't you?
Yeah, well, I got a beard and everything, right?
That's true.
Hey, do you watch Duck Dynasty?
When I was a young man, like, I asked a fanboy question because yesterday we were watching a movie, me and Pookie, my girlfriend, whom I adore. We were watching a movie. Excuse me?
What movie?
We were watching Shakes the Clown.
What the fuck?
Exactly.
Is that the Bobcat Goldthwait movie?
Dennis knows. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what is it?
Shakes the Clown.
Okay, but what was the description he said?
It stars Bobcat Goldthwait.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Me and Pookie are doing a summer of Sandler. We are watching all of Adam Sandler's movies from the very beginning because we want to understand why.
So 2020 wasn't bad enough. You're going to ruin 2021?
I mean, when you go through a shit year, you really just want to mow through. And when you get out of the other side, it's going to be like Valhalla. It's going to be awesome.
Have you seen Spanglish, Dennis?
No, I don't believe so. I mean, I've heard of it, but I can't remember any scenes from it or of any nature.
Well, it's Sandler, but it's dramatic.
Okay. Is that the one where he's like, he makes a sex phone call or something and they come to shake him down?
No, that's Punch Drunk Love.
Punch Drunk Love, okay.
Yeah. No,
so he's done two kind of serious movies?
He's done like 3 or 4 at now. By now.
Spanglish is one of my favorites. Spanglish, he's like a 5-star chef or 4-star chef. What's the top? I don't know. 4-star chef living in New York City, and his wife's like cheating on him, and they hire a maid, and he falls in love with the maid, but the maid doesn't speak English, and he doesn't speak Spanish, so it's called Spanglish, and so they fall in love, trying to figure out what each other's saying to each other, and it's fantastic. It's so good, isn't it, Randy? It's like literally one of the best movies.
It's one of my favorites for sure. Yeah.
And Adam Sandler's not being a boogaloo.
Yeah, he's not doing that.
He didn't do it one time. I have a hard time believing that.
No, not at all.
Not at all. I'm gonna have to watch this then to see.
Normal person, and it's probably hard for him to be so.
You know, as soon as he got offset, and cameras are like, and cut. As soon as they said cut, he just had a seizure of those ridiculous.
Great, like tickling the directors and shit. They're like, "What are you?"
I will say this: Billy Madison is one of the greatest comedies of all time.
Absolutely.
We're making fun of Sandler, but that movie is amazing, and it had Bridget Wilson in it, and I think we've all probably laid in bed a couple times and thought about, that movie. No, I
don't know. What are you trying to tell me?
Oh boy.
You talking about Veronica Vaughn?
Yes.
Dennis, what are you looking at, Swan? That's all I have to say to you.
This is Frank's shirt. See,
Yeah.
That's the best. Like when Chris Farley, like I'll tell you who ate those sandwiches. It was that goddamn Sasquatch. The best. Yeah, that and Happy Gilmore are like my two favorites.
Yeah, that's there. It's a good one. I don't know.
I get it though. I feel like Adam Sandler's like Robin Williams to me. Like I like Robin Williams.
Wait a minute. What?
I like Robin Williams more in his dramatic roles.
And you guys have probably just got canceled. That's going to be the one that gets you canceled.
Yep.
Because I said he's like Robin Williams. No, I like him more in his dramatic roles.
Tommy, you got to look in the handbook. You can't. No, I mean, I don't think we can say anything bad about Robin Williams.
Well, I'm not saying anything bad about him. I'm not.
Well, you're comparing him to.
I'm just saying personally, I didn't find Robin Williams' comedy as good as his dramatic roles.
Yeah, I will agree with that.
I feel the same way with Adam Sandler.
Even a stand-up, Robin Williams stand-up is almost too hard to watch.
Oh, I can't watch it. It's unwatchable.
Yeah, it's just too all over the place.
Absolutely. It's well, for one, it's stolen. Everything's stolen. He admitted that.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, if you look up art, I mean, that's not talking bad. I never speak ill of the dead, whether I hate him or not, and I always like
not even Hitler.
Well, he speaks for himself. But Robin Williams, I recently saw a poll. Some website did a poll where it was like the funniest stand-up comedians of all time, and Robin Williams came in number one because he got the most laughs per minute, which is like a bullshit thing, really. I mean, laughs per minute because he had no setups. He's everything, fire. But yeah, it's widely renowned that Williams would pay people for jokes, and when they wouldn't accept, or if he just saw them, he would just take them. Yeah.
I tried to do it the good way. I tried to do it the nice way.
Right. And whether that's true or not, but that's what people say. But I just, I'm kind of like with you, where his stand-up was all over the place and just wasn't, I don't know. But then when he got down like Good Will Hunting, I mean, like, that's one in Good Will Hunting. That's what inspired me to get my clinical psychology degree. I'm like, I want to be like Sean in Good Will Hunting.
Okay.
The best ever.
You were like, I want to cradle somebody someday and be like, it's not your fault. It's not your fault.
And then fart.
Yeah.
And then fart.
Yeah. My go-to move. That's my entire therapy. It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
But yeah, again, not talking shit about Robin Williams, and maybe he didn't steal all his material, but there is, if you Google Robin Williams steal material, you'll definitely get a lot of people saying he did so. But everybody kind of like still tilted their hat towards him, like, yeah, but it was still Robin Williams. Like if Robin Williams did one of your jokes, it was like Elvis doing one of your songs. He made it better. You know what I mean? Like,
not the fat Elvis years though, just
right.
It's funny you compared Adam Sandler to Robin Williams because they are both in Shakes the Clown.
Oh, I don't remember the movie that much, but that's interesting. So it had to have been a really young Adam Sandler, right?
Yes, this is like his second movie role before SNL.
What about the one that he's Overboard?
Yeah, that's his first one. We had to suffer through that one.
Jesus.
Yeah. I didn't.
Too.
You're one of 5 people that have actually watched that movie.
Yeah, I didn't want to. She did, so I'm like, okay, we might as well go whole hog into the Sandler.
She's really trying to see if you'll break.
Yeah,
she wants to see how much pain you can take.
I think that's the problem.
That was 1989, maybe, or 92. It was very early.
No, I think you're right. I think it was 1989. It's a horrible fucking movie.
How long ago?
It's a horrible movie. It's not really funny. It's one of those curiosities you watch and you're like, well, if this got made, anything is possible.
We all still have our dreams.
Yeah.
We all still have our of making a movie.
Yeah.
For when it got made, too. I mean, it wouldn't get made nowadays.
It always reminds me of that Jim Carrey movie that he made that he was a vampire.
Yeah, Once Bitten. Yeah.
Once Bitten. It's the same thing, although that one's pretty decent. I mean, it's low budget, but you could see that the director was trying to formulate some sort of movie.
Right. Oh, man, I forgot about that movie. Damn.
That's the thing. Going Overboard has no plot whatsoever. It's just like
it's just him walking around doing his noises.
It's not even that. He's not even Adam Sandler. He's like
it's not even Adam Sandler yet.
He's completely neutered. So whatever directors
or pre-coke Adam Sandler.
That could be. That could be. And it's funny because you watch Shakes the Clown and he's more Adam Sandler-esque. So I mean, there's a little bit of the noises and faces and whatnot. You're like, okay, he's getting there. He's sliding into his Sandlerisms.
I love Sandler, but yeah, sometimes he's too much.
So I have a theory. I'm glad that you brought up that movie with Bobcat.
Okay.
Interesting character, but I think he ripped his persona off as well. I'm sure you guys have watched the TV show and the movies The Muppets.
Oh, yeah.
And are familiar with the drummer Animal.
Yes.
It's the same fucking person.
Pretty much. Yeah, he does I could see that.
So I think we need to start a GoFundMe or any other way that we can filter money into this and investigate if Bobcat stole the character from Animal and the Muppets, and somehow we become famous and rich.
I like that.
Okay, we're starting to GoFundMe to sue Bobcat Goldthwait for being
I expect to see that in the morning on Twitter.
For plagiarizing the Muppets. Let's get it
not
done.
Not the Muppets, just Animal.
Just Animal in particular.
We don't want to sully the name of Kermit the Frog or Miss Piggy or that gray-looking eagle thing, whatever he was.
I get it. Yeah. Kermit's a sweet boy. We don't want to sully his reputation.
We don't want to make him feel any greener than he is.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Being green. I get it. A sweet boy.
Tommy gets things. It's great.
That's awesome.
I was
Tommy.
I was watching this movie and I had a flashback that I hadn't thought of since I was a wee lad. And I started telling her this story of how when I was younger, I used to love going to the Shrine Circus, and all these Shriners would dress up as clowns, and and you had to buy the circus program, and all the clowns had photographs in the very back, and it was the coolest fucking thing around to get the autographs of all the clowns. And then the very next day you'd go on the bus and you would compare the autographs with all your fellow classmates and be like, oh, look at this. I got Crybaby's autograph. Oh, look at this. I got Chuckles' fucking autograph.
Patches was always my favorite. Patches was the homeless one.
Oh, man.
So when they were dressed up as clowns, did they still wear their Shriners hats?
No. They went full method. It was great.
I wish to see one just with a Shriner's hat on. But the tassel is on the other side because it's not, it's not right to have the tassel on the left side if that's the way they wear it.
Dennis, it sounds like you're a little bit jelly of our clown love here.
I don't know if jelly is the right word. Terrified? Feeling very awkward about the whole thing. That might be.
When you go to a parade.
You know what? Maybe I didn't go to the circus, and I'm a little jealous. Maybe you're right.
I am right. There's no way I could ever be wrong.
Yeah, Patches was always my favorite because Patches was always the one that had like the frowny makeup, and he was like in like Goodwill clothing, and definitely.
Did he have patches on his knees and his elbows?
Yes, absolutely. And I was fucking dead. I mean, like, I'm supposed to have empathy. Give me candy, you goddamn clown.
Did you participate in this practice of getting the autographs from these clowns?
Me?
Yeah.
Tom? Absolutely.
See, Tommy knows.
you remember getting the sword?
The sword? Some
Wait
clown
a
gave you a
second.
sword?
That wasn't
No,
a
no, no, no.
sword.
You go to the Shriner Circus. Still, well, I took my kids probably, I don't know, 6, 7 years ago. They're older now. But when I was a kid, I always remembered you'd have to get a sword. They sell like these lightsabers, and they were like $6 a piece, right? I remember every year because my dad would be like pissed off. He'd be like, they fucking break in like 2 minutes, but whatever. And they always did. But at numerous points during the circus, it would go black. And the ringmaster would yell, "Get your swords!" And all the kids that had swords would start shaking their swords. And it was, and they glow in the dark. You don't remember this, Randy? And it was just a ploy for all the other kids to go, "I want a sword too." You know what I mean?
Just for transparency, every time he says sword, I just think dick. That's why I'm laughing.
Oh.
But looking back, it was just a way for them to make money because it was like half the stadium lit up in these swords that were bouncing back and forth. And all the other kids are screaming that they want a sword too. So you don't remember?
No, the only thing I remember from the circus is getting the clown autographs like a goddamn fool, and also the stink of the place. It smelled so bad
I was
because
gonna
of the
ask that.
elephants.
Yep, I was going to ask that if you could smell the elephant shit.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Or maybe, now that I think about it, maybe it was Patches the Clown.
It probably was partly Patches the Clown.
I mean,
But what was the cotton candy situation? No cotton candy?
Oh yeah. I remember that. Peanuts, cotton candy.
peanuts and cotton candy. Who are you? You're just the all-American boy, aren't you?
That's a regular circus connoisseur.
Yeah, listen, I don't like chewing on like household insulation. Therefore, cotton candy is not for me, sir.
Are you saying that cotton candy is similar to asbestos?
I mean, I'm not casting any aspersions, accusations, or speculations. However,
Your palate will come around one.
Well, let me ask you this, Randy. Let's challenge you on some episode where we do a live episode.
okay.
We're gonna have a thing of cotton candy and a thing of asbestos, and you're gonna eat both of them.
Okay.
And you have to tell us which is which.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I'm going to have to tell you which gives me cancer first, the cotton candy or the asbestos.
Well, the cotton candy is going to give you diabetes. I don't think it's going to give you cancer.
Oh, you don't know that. You don't know that. This is why we have...
Figuring it out is what's going to give you cancer.
I have WebMD.
Oh, that's true.
I'm also never going to get vaccinated. You be. Well, I mean, these cans, they'll stick to my face. Randy just passed out.
Well,
yeah, you made him faint. He thinks he's got corona. He thinks he's got COVID now through the phone.
Through Skype, I have all the COVID-19 in my body.
I've been talking to an unvaccinated person.
Oh my stars!
I have literally coughed and sneezed during the show.
This fucking heathen caveman with his views and his personality. How dare he?
So we're 40 minutes into this, and I still haven't heard my sound yet. I've been trying to get the sound. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can we talk? We can edit this out if you know. Can we talk about because I'm very non-judgmental and I don't give a shit. But can we talk about why, Dennis? Why you have you chosen not to get vaccinated? I mean, I'm not gonna. I really don't care. But I mean, I'm interested in for people about it.
Sure. I'll be honest about it. One, I work from home. I haven't left the house in like months, literally. Like I was sitting here thinking about it, and I don't remember when I've actually left the house. I think it was January.
Oh, okay.
Because I literally get all my groceries delivered to me. I get all my food delivered to me. I don't like people. Well, yeah. I don't like being around people. There's something about being around people that I don't like. Am I totally against it? No. I just There's other people that need it first.
Right. Okay. That's yeah. Wow. That's like the best explanation. Yeah. Okay. Good for you. Absolutely. And I was ready for some conspiracy theory, which I probably would have been on board about because I love conspiracy theory. I mean, I got vaccinated, but I'm like,
I also don't want my penis to fall off.
Maybe I'm cramping the style because this was going good. Now Randy hasn't talked in like
He killed himself.
Lord, I hope. No, I'm kidding.
Tommy,
Randy?
I'll tell you why I've been silent. Because I set this up. Because I knew, Tommy. I just knew.
Me and Dennis would be best friends.
And this is why. Dennis hasn't left the house in 16 years. Doesn't have human interaction. Tommy, this is what I've done for you.
Wait. Am I his bride?
No.
Oh, God.
Tommy, let me introduce you to Patches the Clown. You're welcome.
I wondered where you've been.
Drop that beat, D-boy.
I'm not Patches.
Put it in. We're drinking summer shandy on Thursday. We so motherfucking out here, though. We never been this out here. Woo! So strange when there's change in the sea. What you know about Leonard Skinner? Whacker the intro, the hotter the verse every time, baby. When I've been working like a working man do. Got my act together, gonna walk all over you. Pressure pushing down on me, pushing down on you. Shit, let's raise the roof. Woo! About time, it's the era of the rebels. Cloud nine in the air up in the vessels. Generation fearless, got a taste for weirdness. Flow on fire, that's the way my beard is. Hard times, jump starting the grind. It's all good, y'all. Things fall apart sometimes. Let it go, let me know when you're ready, though. Don't push me, cuz until the edge I'm close. When the time comes, ride for something. Or live to be 90 and then just die for nothing. Speak their heart, your baby, speak their mind. And I'ma play their part, and I'ma freak that rhyme one time for you. Rhyme one time for you. I'm an island, man. There ain't nothing else by me, man. And I drink enough whiskey to float a battleship around this bitch any motherfucking how.
Welcome to the Miserable Retail Slave Show. I'm coming to you from the Pod Shack outside beautiful Bay City, Michigan. My name is Randy, and with me is my partner in crime, my PIC. His name is Tommy. Say hello to the people there, fella.
Do you have to tell people I'm your fucking partner? God damn it. Can it just be a guy that answers your phone call when nobody else will?
Oh, God, you're ruining the illusion that we're best friends. God damn it. Ladies and gentlemen, our very special guest, which you've heard for the last 40 minutes or so in the cold open. It's Dennis from The Dennis Show. Say hello to the people, Mr. Dennis from The Dennis Show.
Well, I guess the first thing I'm going to have to say is, so we're going to be in the Guinness Book of World Records for the longest intro to a podcast in the history of podcasts. So fuck you, Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Show us some Spotify money.
Please.
But please. But thank you for having me on the show. I can't wait to see what happens.
The possibilities are endless, right? Jesus Christ.
Oh.
The world is our oyster at this point. My God.
Yeah.
Dennis and I have talked on the twitter.com, and he's been a friend of the show for years now. Like way back when he had a podcast called The Functioning Drunk.
Oh, that was the classic one. That was the best one. I wish that one never would have died because that was actually listened to by people.
in between,
Yeah,
in
yes,
between, in
that
between. Shut up, Tommy. In between that and now, how many podcasts have you had? Because I feel like you've had.
Well, first let's define a podcast and how many episodes a podcast has to have
Okay.
before it's an actual official podcast.
Sure. I don't know. 5. We'll say.
Yeah.
None then. Maybe one. Maybe one. I had the podcast with that lovely lady Molly, who
I do remember Molly.
that was the American Dirtbags podcast, and
Yeah.
a great future, but she couldn't keep herself out of jail and
That's a problem.
and out of meth binges, and she quit on the show on air in the middle of a show because I made fun of Fuller House.
Oh, okay. Well, you don't
So
have mercy.
not the most.
Have
not the
mercy,
most-
Dennis.
yeah.
You don't fuck with Uncle Jesse.
Exactly. I think I might have said that. I think that might have been the capper.
It probably was.
But yeah, and her name was Molly, and I kept calling her Momo, and that was during the time when Momo was the thing. You know,
Oh, I
that-
remember.
Oh, yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that.
and she wanted people to know that she wasn't Momo, and I don't think she got into the joke. But you know, meth is a hell of a drug. It was a different, you know, it was a rough time for both of us. She just lost her boyfriend, and he died. My dad died, so we were both probably, you know, on different levels in the hurt game. And one day, I just pushed her to the brink, and she quit.
Okay.
She hung up. She hung up during recording.
You also had a podcast that I really liked with Nikki from that other podcast.
Oh yeah, Color Me Dead.
Yeah.
You listen to that one?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I
You-
enjoyed
You're
it.
the only one. You're
Probably.
the only one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened with
Nikki's
that?
awesome. You know what? If I'm going to be totally honest, I think I kind of started having feelings for Nikki,
Okay.
and you know, I probably got weird, and she probably got weird about it, and you know, shit happens, and I ghosted her.
Okay.
That happened to me and Randy a few times.
Podcasting is the great online dating of our time.
That I only invite women on the podcast that I want to date.
I've noticed that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it never works.
Yeah. I've fallen in and out of love with Tommy so many times you don't even know.
And I like Dennis's date is like, come over to my house. It's like, we've never met before. Can we have a Red Lobster? Dennis like, nope, I don't leave my house. That's it.
Yeah, dating is rough when you're a recluse.
Yeah, you got to
Because you know,
cheese biscuits from Red Lobster. It's not.
you know, you swipe right, they swipe right, and then you guys talk, and they're like, "Well, where do you want to go on our date?" And I'm like, "Well, you can come to the house." And they immediately think that you want to just, you know, fuck. That's, you know, but that's not the case. I mean, yeah, that's the goal, but maybe we should just watch TV. Why can't we just watch TV on a date?
That was like my whole thing with online dating was I want to get to the point where we can just hang out and watch TV. Seriously,
Yeah.
that's where I was at.
Seriously. Why do we want to go out and spend $100 on a date and then the next day be like, yeah, I don't like you.
This goes towards one of Louis C.K.'s best bits, where he's like, the biggest predator to women is men. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, maybe we should meet in public first before
Sure,
I just
yeah, I understand it.
never be seen from again.
So what you're telling me, Tommy, is I need to take my TV outside in the front yard.
Yes.
I actually just spit Heineken across my. Yeah, that might work a little bit. Yeah. Just set up a little, I don't know, get like a school desk or something, and like another chair next to it.
We're gonna go to the drive-in. My fat ass, you know, I went to the drive-through first, obviously. You park the TV right in front of the garage, right? You post one of those little fake audio receivers to the side, so you listen to it through your car. Am I wrong?
No, you're right. Yeah, you tune the radio to it. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's your first date.
Yeah.
It costs nobody anything except for the charges for Netflix, which you say, you have two ways of getting this. One, you give me $5 for the $10 fee, or is it what, $13? So it's $650.
Eh,
Yeah, or you can just blow me, and that charge goes away.
are
And it's up to you.
those in your terms of agreement that they gotta cheat?
Yeah, exactly. You want popcorn? Fine. That's gonna be, we'll talk.
Yeah.
Butter? Well, butter's expensive.
So you started the Dennis show now.
Yeah, I mean, I started it. I haven't really done anything with it.
Yeah, but
I mean, I do have. I'm sorry, sir.
Yeah, you shut the fuck up right now. God damn
It's
it.
your show. It's not my show.
Before that, you had I thought it was a popular wrestling program with Maria on what happened there?
Well, Randy, I mean, nothing I do is popular. So, first off, thank you for assuming that I do anything that's popular. I mean, did it get listened to? Sure. I mean, is 26 people a week listening? Yes.
Well,
but you can pretend that it's successful.
sure.
But you know what? Don't do a wrestling podcast, because there's 1.7 million wrestling podcasts out there.
Right.
And so, yeah, that went away because, differences in, what's the word I'm looking for? I had a vision. She had a vision. Her vision was lazy and boring. Mine was funny and would produce mountains of cocaine. And
Sure.
And so we I ghosted her.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I started the Dennis show because I can't ghost myself. I've tried so hard, so many times, but I just can't. So
You get blackout drunk and then
you wake up and you're like, whoa, where am I? But yeah, so yeah, I started this with the idea that it would be centered around, I love a good phone prank.
Okay.
And it's a dying art. I don't think many people do it anymore. I know that the crank yankers came back for a spell.
Yeah. I opened for Jim Florentine one time for a
Love him.
weekend.
Love that
Friday,
guy.
Saturday. Dude, the guy was one of the coolest people. Oh my God. And I had and he's got the Brooklyn accent. He's from Boston, so he's got the Boston, the Brooklyn, and I'm like, dude, the nicest guy.
What was that?
I had to pick him up from the hotel, right? And every night I was like, God damn it, I'm gonna get too hammered to take Jim back to the hotel. Never had to worry about it because this dude, the women love
Ladies
Jim.
and gentlemen, Tommy took Jim Florentine back to the hotel.
One time I walked up to him. I'm like, Jim, you need a ride back? This blonde was like rubbing his shoulders. He's like, no, I'm going to go back with this broad. And he was great. But anyway.
Yeah, he seems awesome.
The prank. Yeah.
So I grew up in a time when the Jerky Boys were, the big deal. And Touchtone Terrorists. Do you remember those guys? I think maybe it was just one guy. I don't know.
I don't remember. I remember the Jerky Boys.
Yeah,
for
sure. The Jerky Boys.
The Touchtone Terrorists, they did this thing where they would somehow hack into the phone lines of the phone company, and they would take business calls and just do the worst fucking customer service of all time to these people. If you've never heard them, you need to look them up.
That's great.
So I back in the late 90s, early 2000s, I worked at a telemarketing place, and they gave me all this equipment that I took home, and I started doing my own phone pranks back in the day. And the tape was legendary in this area, but it was before the internet, so I couldn't monetize it. Why does that not sound right? money tease it. So, but I've always had this ability to have like like you listen to the Functioning Drunk, so you probably heard some of the early days of the phone pranks.
Yeah.
Calling Domino's, and telling the owner that the delivery guy took my pizza hostage and all the shit. So that's what I wanted this show to be, but nobody answers their phone anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's hard.
Text. We got to figure out prank.
How do you text prank? But so I had to refocus what I was doing, and I have a character on the show that I've had in the past shows named Cal, and Cal is a slow person, and he grew up thinking he was related to Arn Anderson and Ole Anderson of the Anderson brothers of the old NWA.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Turns out that his mom was actually having an affair with Tommy Chong.
Nice.
So he's actually Cal Chong now, not Cal Anderson. And he wants to start his own chimichanga / fajita restaurant. So now he's calling all the Mexican places in town and fighting them verbally on the phone. So that's going to hit the internet pretty soon.
Oh yeah, that's great because the only places you can prank now are businesses.
Because they have to answer.
Yeah.
And the way you get in is you're like, I need to talk to the manager. I had a problem, and they're like, okay, hold on, and then you just berate them, or you try the slow burn and be like, I had your fajita. It was very good. Fajita. Cal calls it a fajita.
Yeah.
And Cal will tell the owner of the restaurant, I'm starting my own push cart fajita stand, and I need you to not sell fajitas anymore.
That's great.
Can we have a friendly agreement that you don't sell fajitas and possibly, whatever else I said at the time?
Right. Refried beans.
Yeah. Maybe not use soft shells anymore. That's kind of the only thing I can afford.
Oh my God, that's amazing. That's funny.
So that's where I'm at right now, but I need to figure out other content before I.
That's really funny because these small town, like especially if you choose small, if you could find you just pick a small town in any fucking state.
Yeah, I live in Midland, so I've just been fucking around with Midland people the whole time. And some of them get irate. Some of them are just like, dude, do you want a job? We need someone to come in here and work.
Right. You're like, what?
No, I don't want a job. I'm trying to fucking make you angry and yell at me.
You're like, I'm the worst customer service person ever.
I'll come and work for you, but I'm not going to do anything.
When I was about 12 or 13, there's a town right outside of Flint called Beecher.
Okay, yeah.
And they had a business called Beecher Meats. And yeah, you guys saw I go to them. One of my best friends and I and his cousin, who was a couple years older than us, we were all spending the night at my best friend's house, and he called Beecher Meats. And they answered, and he said, "Beat your own meat," and he hung up. It's one of the funniest things. I'll never forget it. It was hilarious. They're like, "Beat your meats," and he's like, "Beat your own meat."
It's a lost art. It's kids today. I remember calling the 900 numbers when I was younger. A group of us. All the boys, which is weird if you think about it now. But you're all sitting around a phone. You're all
talking about now, Dennis.
You're calling this sex line with all your buddies, and I remember I got age shamed by a fucking sex operator because I was talking and my voice must not have cracked back then. I might have not gone through puberty just yet. And she was like, "Call me back when you're not 13."
Ooh.
And I was like, "Oh, Jesus, you don't want that $2.99 an hour?" or minute or whatever the fuck it was. You're a bad
She's like,
business
I'm
lady.
a pedophile.
She was the one actual phone sex operator that actually wanted to have sex, but she couldn't with a 12-year-old. She didn't need that.
When they had morals.
Dennis, you also have a podcast about wrestling, or you started a new one about wrestling. Is that is that going to be a thing?
Yeah, it's still going to be a thing when I'm not feeling lazy.
Okay.
So I got into a heated conversation with the editor of Pro Wrestling Illustrated.
Okay.
And
wow.
And being the spiteful asshole that I am, I started a podcast called Pro Wrestling Intoxicated.
Yeah, for those that don't know, Pro Wrestling Illustrated is like it's been around forever.
Forever, yeah.
It's one of the premier wrestling publications out there.
Yes. And he's taken. So this is gonna, Tommy. This is where I'm gonna say things that I will wake up and regret saying, maybe. But he's taken to the woke side of professional wrestling. He's hired all these woke people, and so a lot of things that are said or done on that website or his magazine just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And I told him that he should hire me and that he's a coward. And he just laughed. Can you imagine that? Laughing at a man of my stature, Randy?
I can't imagine. You look like
I have had over
warrior.
25 podcasts.
Yes.
I've been listened to by hundreds of people.
Damn it. How does he not know who you are?
Does he not want to sell a couple magazines? I mean, really, it's $5.99 a magazine. You're looking at $11.
He should want to sell a couple of magazines because ain't nobody buying magazines.
No, who does buy a magazine anymore? When was the last time you bought a magazine?
I have a subscription to the New Yorker, but I don't buy it at the.
Really?
You know this. You know I have a subscription to the New Yorker because I'm better than you, Tommy. I'm fucking intellectual and shit.
That's exactly why you got that fucking thing too.
He eats fancy foods and drinks fancy beers, Randy.
No, that's true. He's got fancy pants.
Drinks his cheese and his wine and his New York.
Yeah, that's
no
right.
fancy. No,
I think I should actually throw a plug out for Bumline Bob's site though, since that's where I write most of my stuff. Has Bob been on the podcast before?
He has not, but he's also been in front of the show. And I know I said I would write on the website about baseball.
I wasn't going to bring it up, you lazy asshole.
Yeah, well, life has been not kind to me, and I've been very busy. I had all intentions of flying headlong into that, but
Well, I'll tell you this: your login and your password are still there, so whenever you want to just jot down a few lines, you're always welcome.
Thank you. But I will live up to my promise.
You, if anything, post your links to your fucking podcast.
Well, I don't want to be that promotionally hacky, but
no, we just need the content.
Okay,
it's fine.
Perfect.
It's
fine.
It makes us look important. It makes us look like we're the place where everyone goes to post their content. And I'll tell you what. So I write the wrestling stuff, and I post the wrestling podcasts on there, and it gets somewhat read. 200, 300 views. Bob posts a fucking podcast with a porn star, and
right.
Shit just goes crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking I'm just gonna start reviewing porns. That's where the money is.
That's hilarious. On my other podcast, someone's favorite movie, as my co-host Tomko, if he would be opposed to me reaching out and having a porn star on to talk about a movie. He's like, no.
Do it.
Well, I did. I tried to reach out and she didn't respond, so I have to.
What a whore.
Yeah, right? I have to spread my net. Because I actually want to have a decent conversation. I don't want,
it would be interesting. Honestly, it would be interesting. How do you, as a human being, take that part of your life and put it somewhere else where it's not affecting the rest of your life? Because
Right.
It's got to. As much as they say it doesn't, it has to.
Yeah, you
That's
would
why-
think.
That's why I don't tell most people, like in my day-to-day things, is why I don't tell people I'm a comedian. Because they're always like, tell me a joke, tell me a joke. Could you
Right.
imagine tell people that you're a porn star? They're like, bend over. You know?
Let me see your pussy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Like, I'm not trying to
Let me
be.
see on the other side.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be one of those dudes like, oh, hey, show me
Right.
some pics. I'm like, I'm genuinely interested. Like, I want to talk to this person as a human being and have a decent conversation. That's all.
Then again, probably most porn stars, I'm sorry if I'm wrong about this, but maybe most porn stars are like, oh my God, what? I don't know. Maybe,
I mean,
maybe I'm an idiot.
Yes.
I would say that 80% of the industry would probably be that way. They're coked out of their mind.
Yeah.
They're enjoying that big money, but there's got to be like 20% of them are like doing it just solely for business.
Yes.
Right.
Well, the one I reached out to, and like honestly, it was
Give me initials, see if I can guess.
Oh, actually, here's a hint. Whether you know it or not, her name was mentioned in the episode already while we were talking.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
It's not the one we know, is it?
Oh, I don't know what Dennis knows. You don't watch porn, so.
The one that we know.
I'm rewinding in my mind now.
Oh, the one that you and I know personally. No. Well, anyways, I know that she's a kind of a nerd, so I reached out to her and.
So it'd be kind of a fun conversation talking about like video games and stuff like that.
Absolutely, yeah. That's
Okay.
what I wanted to do, but I got no response. And honestly,
that would
persona that she gives off. You know what I mean?
Could be. I don't know.
It could have been like her creepy uncle just created that for her.
It would be. I mean, just, the thing about it is, like, it would be cool to humanize them in that way.
Absolutely.
Where we shouldn't even have to need to humanize them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Well, I mean, there's not a need for it, but in the same sense as they're like, most people are like, why would they do that? Why would you do that? And so to actually hear somebody talk about it in like in an intellectual way would, whether you're into porn or not, I think would be quite interesting.
And this is how fucked up I am, because you just said that, Tommy. Why would they do that? And I was thinking about it, and I'm like, why wouldn't they do that? And the reason I say that is because I was sitting on my couch today watching Loki on Disney Plus.
Sure, yeah.
And my mailman walked by, and I was like, why the fuck would you do that job?
Right.
Why would you walk all around the fucking town and put fucking envelopes in someone's mailbox?
It's true.
I mean, it's probably an easy job, but goddamn, all that walking one.
Yeah.
Who wants to do that?
That's the thing is, I've quit. I was working for General Motors on the assembly line, making $60,000 a year. I mean, I know that's not a lot for a lot of people. It's a lot for me. I quit that. I said, fuck this. Now I do comedy and side hustles, and I'm lucky if I pull, half of that. But I'm happy. I'm happier for sure.
That's the thing. Like, you got to be happy in doing what you're doing,
right?
Even if it's $10 an hour, which minimum wage is a joke. Can we talk about that? Can we talk about minimum wage in this fucking country?
Absolutely.
Even if it's doggy style and your uncle asks if that was actually you, then
that's the other thing though. Like so you're a porn star, guy or girl. We're always specifying it's a female, but
sure,
dudes are in the business too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I heard that you got to be. I heard you got to do. I don't know if this is. It's probably an urban legend, but I heard that most directors won't take you unless you do like a gay scene first, which makes.
I've heard that too.
So stupid. That's so stupid, right?
I thought that was a thing in the 80s, though.
Yeah, there's no way that could be true, right? It's like, okay, you got a big dick. We want you to fuck this girl, but you got to suck this guy's dick over here first. Why? Why?
No,
These wacky initiations in Hollywood. And
yeah.
Why would they make you do that? And why would the guy be like, okay? You know, like what
because
would
you
that?
really want it, Tommy. You got to show you really want
They
it.
don't really want it. That's the thing, is they don't really want it. They just
But think about our lives every day, Tommy, Randy, Dennis. You wake up and you got to put your clothes on, make your cup of coffee or whatever you drink in the morning, smoothies, a can of Coke, whatever.
Right.
And then you think about your day ahead at work, and you're thinking, "Oh man, I gotta wash the windows." But the porn star, the dude or the dudette, she's like, "I gotta fuck Billy." Ugh.
Right.
Isn't that a weird? I gotta get Billy's dick in me today, or Billy's like, Vanessa again. She's so boring. She's like fucking a fish.
Right. You think you bitch about your job? Can you imagine?
I had to come 3 times today. I'm exhausted.
What if one of them called in for the shoot, and then the
One's
porn
all
star
hot
got
bothered.
offended? She got offended. She's like, "Really,
You know
Jack?"
who's really mad is the fluffer that got the dude hard, and the chick called in sick. You mean I sucked his dick for nothing? No, it's not for nothing.
I just wanted an offended bitch of a porn star being like, "Really, really, really? Tim didn't want to fuck me again today? Is that what you called in?"
He's
Really?
probably fucking that other.
Yeah.
He probably's got whiskey on his breath and can't get it up.
Oh,
I fucking had a thought, and now I just lost it.
Thoughts are fleeting like that.
You know, especially when you're old.
Mm-hmm.
How old are you, Dennis?
I'm 44 years old.
God damn! How are you still alive?
I ask myself that every morning. Thankfully, the noose that I tie around my neck every night breaks off the ceiling because I'm a beast fucking fat ass.
Well, and plus you're an old man. You got those quivery hands. How can you tie a proper knot?
It's tough.
Yeah.
It is tough.
Dennis, you are constantly on the Twitter talking to all these. I followed so many like indie pro wrestlers based on your conversations and shout outs with them. What is it about the wrestling industry and indie wrestlers in general? Because you generally, I don't know, you shit all over WWE for the most part.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's terrible.
And
what is it? It's the last real art on this earth.
Ooh.
Because these guys will literally drive, and maybe comedy is similar. I'll say that.
It's a lot. Before you describe it, I will say I'm not a huge fan of wrestling, but the more I think about the similarities, and a lot of people, I used to be a huge fan, and I should probably get back into it, but like a lot of my stand-up comedy friends always defend wrestling and talk about wrestling because they say it is, yeah, exactly.
Yes, it's similar.
Go ahead. Yeah, what you're going to describe. Yeah, it's the same thing.
But indie wrestlers will literally drive 800 miles and not even know if they're getting paid just because they want to participate in that ring and do what they've been training to do. And, you know, these guys have also paid to be trained.
Right.
And they get to this place, you know, usually a bingo hall or Eagles Club or like Moose Lodge. Right. And there's 10 people in the stands.
Absolutely.
And they get paid a hot dog and a handshake.
Yeah.
And that's crazy to me.
Yeah, and that's a lot. Now that you say that, you know, I have a lot of friends that are in comedy that, you know, I mean, I drove 8 hours the other day for $100.
Yeah, for $100. You don't even so you don't even recoup your gas mileage.
I mean, and I luckily I got
unless
a car.
You have a Honda Accord.
Yeah, it's about 50. So it was about 45 in gas, and then I sold like 3 T-shirts at $20. So I didn't make much at all, but it was a sold out show at a winery. So there was like 70 people there that laughed at my jokes, and you know I was flying high.
And that's your payment. That's your currency.
Yeah, and I was so excited that I had a good set in front of people. So that's it's the same thing. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous when you break it down. I mean, you got to be crazy. You got to be really crazy to do it.
Crazy and in love with what you're doing.
Absolutely, like delusionally. And
like, how many times you wait? Like, so I used to work at Kroger. I don't know if that'll get you in trouble if I say that, but I worked at Kroger, and it was literally 2 miles from my house. And
Oh
there
my
was
God,
days
I used to work at Kroger too, Dennis.
and there was days that I was like, I'm not going to walk there. 2 miles, and these fucking people drive 800 miles to not get paid, and I got paid pretty decent money for what I did at Kroger's.
Yeah. Well, you nailed it. I mean, you're not showing off your art form at Kroger. You know what I mean?
Oh, I was a hell of a fucking cashier. There was Karens lined up because they knew that they would get in and out fast. Because not because I wanted to do a good job, I didn't want to see their fucking faces in front of me anymore with their stupid ass coupons and their is this spaghetti sauce good? I don't know. Because I'm fat, I eat all this fucking spaghetti sauce.
How long ago did you work at Kroger?
Boy. 7 years ago.
No, okay, it's been a while.
Yeah. Now I'm just independently wealthy, and I can stay in my house and order Shipped.
Sure.
Get a sponsorship with Shipped.
Okay. Get it done.
Yeah, but I didn't hate the job. But I mean, when you wake up and you're like, do I want to do this again? Do I want to fucking bag groceries?
The only thing I miss about Kroger is the mindlessness of it.
Yeah, you could disappear.
Yeah, you could. I had so many great thoughts when I worked there. It was like 8 hours of just my body doing one thing and my mind doing another.
Yep. Sir, you just gave me $100 bill.
Right.
Yeah. Have a good day.
Well, another huge thing about comedy and wrestling too is that you don't have to do it sober. You know what I mean?
Well, wrestling, you probably should.
Yeah.
Right. You hear those stories where, like, Andre
Sure.
the Giant would drink like 30 fucking wherever story, or they're all coked up on whether it be just like pills. You know what I mean? To get I don't think those guys are ever really sober. Maybe in like the sense of like not being alcoholics, but I mean,
just
they
pilled
got
out.
pain pills like crazy.
Yeah. Well, what Randy's talking about though is the independent scene. So these are the guys that don't make no money. They're not on TV. They can't afford that kind of addiction. I don't think.
Sure.
And if they can, they're stealing it. They're stealing it from wherever they work or whatever. But
right.
But I would love to have a time machine and go back to one night with Andre the Giant to see how much he actually did drink.
Yeah. Have you seen that meme where it said that he had like, what was it, like 97 beers?
Like a ridiculous amount.
Yeah.
But there's the same thing with Wade Boggs. There's a whole story where Wade Boggs drank like 100 beers on a flight.
Yeah. Is it true? Is it true?
How can it be true? Like I profess my drink ability. Like I'll drink 10, 15, 20 beers easily.
Yeah. Right.
90 beers? How does your kidneys not just shut down?
Yeah, I've done 20 at night easily. I mean, regrettably, but I've done
regrettably the next day, not during the whole shit storm.
Right. Right. And I mean, but you got to remember, Andre the Giant was also what, 7'5"?
Now, what is the more important factor, the height or the weight? Because I think I got the weight.
Dennis, who's an indie wrestler to watch right now?
Wow, there's so many, man. I would hate to say one name, and I'll give a guy and a girl. Let's do that.
Sure.
Trisha Dora is an amazing athlete, an amazing wrestler. Who would I say for guys? See, this is difficult because now people are gonna like message me like, "Fuck you, dude." Guys. Oh boy, all of them. Can I say just all of them? Just watch.
Sure.
So IWTV.live is a service that's similar to Netflix. It's $10. Tommy just disappeared,
He's gone.
he doesn't. I said $10 and he was out.
I guess.
Times are tough for him, huh?
Yeah.
But it's a service that is, like Netflix for professional wrestling. And there's just so many, Randy, that it would be unfair to spotlight one person right now. Because one, I'm drunk and I can't think straight. But if you're a fan of professional wrestling like it used to be, before WWE was like garbage and boring, it's $10 that's well spent.
Yeah. Well, two things. One, there's several people I've thought about reaching out to just interview on this show.
Okay.
Based on, seeing your interactions with them. I'm like, well, that might be fun if she was on,
Mm-hmm.
Two, what is it about WWE that you hate the most? Now, in full disclosure, I still watch WWE.
Okay.
And I do catch AEW. And in my mind, I don't really see a difference. I know a lot of people are like, AEW is best. And I'm like, I don't really see a whole lot of difference.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that a lot, actually. Especially lately, it's turned into a clone. But I understand why as well, because they're trying to make the money, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what sells on network television. My problem with AEW and what they're doing now is they said they were going to be the change in the business, and they haven't been. It's basically the same thing. My problem with WWE is probably all the reasons people hate the New York Yankees or the Boston Red Sox.
I get it. Yeah.
They're successful in everything they do. They're going to make money, and it doesn't matter if it's entertaining or if it's good.
Sure.
And half of it's not good. It's not entertaining. It's sometimes actually insulting to the viewer.
Sure.
But everyone's still, and not everyone, but for the majority, they're the Babe Ruth of wrestling, and everything they do is fine, and it never changes. And it just seems to keep getting worse and worse. And I try every Monday. I sit down and I watch, and I try to see how long I can go without turning it off or just getting bored.
Yeah.
And almost 15 minutes in every time, I'm just like, I'm done.
Yeah.
It's just not entertaining. It's the same thing over and over with them.
Yeah. I've gotten to the point where I only watch the pay-per-views.
The pay-per-views are usually generally very good.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I've discovered. Like, I don't necessarily have time for watching Raw and SmackDown every week.
Well, let's be honest. 3 hours of Raw,
yeah,
is ridiculous.
Yeah. So I'll catch the pay-per-view every month, and that's like I watched NXT last night because I wanted to see Samoa Joe come back, and that was cool. And then I turned it off.
I got in trouble for calling him Coco Joe. People were not happy with that comment.
Oh man.
I thought they were going to re-debut him as Coco Joe.
But it's funny because when I moved in here, my very first night living here with Pookie and her girls, I randomly was sitting on the couch watching NXT Takeover. It was one of those nights. I was watching it on the couch on my computer, and the middle daughter comes up and sits next to me, and she's like, "What are you watching?" Like,
so she'd never seen wrestling before?
No. I'm like, "Oh, this is wrestling." And I was like, I don't even know if I should be showing her this. And I'm like,
right.
Well, I was about her age when I watched wrestling, so it might be okay. And she was watching, and she's like, "Oh, they're dressed up real funny." I'm like, "Yeah." And then she was like, "Are they fighting?" "Oh, wait, no, they're not fighting. They're just playing around." And then she was like, "I like this. One day I'm going to be the women's world champion." I'm like, "Okay, on board."
That was a quick
Yeah, it was mind-boggling how quickly she caught on that they weren't actually hurting each other. It was all for show, and she was like enraptured. So
Which
then
is interesting because when you started watching wrestling, did you think they were hurting each other?
I thought it was real. Yeah,
Yeah, me too.
yeah. And I
I
was,
wouldn't. I don't think I would have watched if I thought it was fake.
yeah, I was probably around her age too. And I remember like it was almost like being told there was no Santa Claus when I found out it was fake. I'm like, are you serious?
I always had my dad who would be like, "Would you stop watching that fake shit?" I'm like, "It's not fake, Dad.
Yeah, it's so real. Look at him.
Look at them." And he's like, "So that guy just got beat out. That guy just got his shit beat for 30 minutes, and then all of a sudden he's just fine." I'm
Right.
like, "Dad, he takes vitamins.
Right. If it was
Do
real,
you take vitamins, Dad? No, you just sit and drink beer and smoke cigarettes."
yeah, if it was real, wouldn't he have a black eye or some bruises? I'm like, well, sometimes they do these days, huh? But it was wild because the last pay-per-view, I don't remember what it was. Whatever the last WWE pay-per-view was, we all sat down and watched it, and all three girls were just
Bored.
No, they loved it the whole time.
Even like the WWE pay-per-view?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I could see NXT because there's a lot more like flippy flops and it's more colorful, like the yellow and black.
Sure.
The red is kind of, I don't know, boring, I
Yeah.
guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong on that. But I think a lot of it is that we grew up in a time when the characters were so much bigger, not in
Absolutely.
size of stature, but just in, I don't know even how to describe it. The characters were just, they were Marvel characters back then.
Yeah.
Like Junkyard Dog.
Yeah. The closest
There's
thing.
no Junkyard Dog now. He's
Yeah.
not a good wrestler. He's a
No.
shitty wrestler.
No.
But you remember the name.
Yeah.
That's not.
They used to be the closest thing. You're right. They used to be the closest thing you get to real life superheroes.
Yeah. Yeah, before Marvel movies were a thing like you get every week. This was your superhero, your live action superhero.
Yeah. And
Now they're
honestly, I miss some of those days. Like I don't care about a guy named Seth Adams or something. Like give him a name like
names are shitty.
Yeah, give him a name like the Destroyer or
Yeah.
you know, I know that's generic as fuck, but you know
But
what
there
I
was
mean.
there was a Destroyer back in the day.
Yes, there was.
But so you're right. They all look different too. Nowadays they all look the same. They all look the same.
Yeah, and everybody's character is they're all badasses. Are they good? Are
Yeah.
they bad? Or are they shades of gray? Oh, they're all shades of gray.
In which I don't have a horrible time with the shades of gray part of it. I get that it was just in the Loki episode.
Mm-hmm.
The goodest guy is also the worst guy, and the worst guy is also the goodest guy, or whatever. I'm paraphrasing or whatever.
Sure.
I'm horribly butchering this because I'm drunk, but it's true. Not all men who are good are 100% good.
Sure.
And not all bad people are 100% bad. So I get that. I get the graying of it. But they all just sound the same and say the same things, and it's boring.
Yeah.
I think that's why AEW kind of is a little bit better because they say different things. They're not saying the same things. And at the end of the day, they're all saying the same thing. I want to beat you up. That's the main thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the goal. I want to beat you up. But there's different ways of saying it. There's more poetic ways of saying it. And WWE is just so generic, and it goes through Vince McMahon, who basically rips up every script that comes to him and writes it in his own words. And his own words are generic and boring.
Yeah. There's definitely a change that needs to happen. I just looked it up. The last pay-per-view was WWE Backlash, and it was so my girlfriend also watched WrestleMania with me, and we both agreed that Backlash was 100 times better than WrestleMania. So
See, I know I watched all those events and I don't remember anything about them.
yeah. Well,
none of it.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing, like who's the champion? There's so many champions.
Yeah, that bothers me too.
Yeah, there should be one champion.
Yeah.
Or maybe two. But Yeah. The thing, that's the other thing, though. It's become saturated. There's just too much. Do an hour. Make us want to come back and watch it. 3 hours, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm good. That's all I need.
I am completely on board with Roman Reigns these days, though.
A lot of people are.
Yeah, that character, I mean, it was dead in the water for the longest time, and now I'm like, that's the fucking best. I don't buy shit. I don't buy wrestling t-shirts, but I bought a Roman Reigns t-shirt because I'm like, that's awesome.
Now, had your parents bought you this Roman Reigns t-shirt and you were still in school,
I would be so embarrassed. So embarrassed.
Exactly.
Oh, look.
So it's not about the t-shirt, it's about your mom and dad.
Mom and dad, parental issues, yes. I don't know. Tommy keeps calling back, but what's the point? You missed it all, friend.
Yeah. You bring him back on, and we'll just tell him that he missed the best conversation ever, and we'll never tell him what the conversation was.
I'm trying to. I don't know what he's doing wrong, but he's a buffoon. Oh, I don't want to do that.
First place.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing that we need to figure out. So is this going to be like a 2-hour podcast that you're going to release? Is this the longest podcast you've ever had?
No, we a few years ago we had like a 4-hour one. It was crazy.
Shit.
Yeah.
Now I feel as if I've been challenged now. Not tonight, but the next time. 5 hours.
Right. Well, I guess Tommy's dead to the world, but thank you so much for coming on, Dennis. It was a long time
thanks for
coming.
having me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've been wanting to be on the show for a long time. You're one of my favorite podcasts. I don't listen to a lot of podcasts anymore because everyone says the same things all the time.
Well, that's true.
It's almost like you're listening to the same podcast for 4 hours. So I stopped listening to them, and I probably fall into that same line when I do my podcast too. It's not a judgment on them; it's just a judgment on the art of podcasting. We need to figure out different ways of doing things. I love your idea about bringing a porn star on and talking about non-porn stuff. That's what I try to do with the wrestling stuff. I try to talk to wrestlers and not talk anything about wrestling. We talk about boobs and shit like that. Yeah, that's what I wanted. I wanted the real person.
Yeah, that was my whole idea. Get like a somewhat super famous porn star on and like just talk about whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope you do that.
I'm gonna give it a shot, for sure. I'm gonna keep
talk to Bob. He has a list of porn stars that he's had on his podcast.
Oh, really? I should.
Yeah. I mean, he has a Rolodex of porn stars. I don't know.
Wow.
He must have like a hog or something. I don't know.
I guess. It's funny because I've known Bob, but not known him for freaking years. Like I've never talked to him, but I've known of him due to social media and stuff. So
we'll have to have him on. We'll have to have a 4-way next time.
Okay, for sure.
All right.
Tell people where they can find you, Mr. Dennis, sir.
Don't find me. Don't ever look for me. I don't want you at my house. Oh, wait, you mean social media?
Yeah, that's right.
Bumwinebob.com. I don't even know what my Twitter handle is anymore. I change it so often. But yeah, just go to bumwinebob.com, and I am the wrestling guy there. And sometimes I throw like a TV review or a movie review or a food review. But there's a ton of content there. We kind of think of ourselves as the Maxim magazine of the internet.
Oh.
Except for there's absolutely no hot chicks there.
None.
They won't send us the pictures, even if I ask them repeatedly on Twitter or text. Sometimes I get blocked. Sometimes I get reported. It's whatever. But it's a men's magazine type website. But we like women come and read too. I don't think we're overly offensive. Maybe Crude. Captain Crude is probably a little bit offensive sometimes.
Yeah,
but that's why we love him. That's why we love him.
Yeah. I mean, if you're listening to this podcast, you're probably not super
Easily
squeamish. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, bumwinebob.com. The Dennis Show _ on Twitter, I think.
Okay. That's great. Tommy is, I don't know, probably coming to a bingo hall near you, so go see him live.
Yes.
Yes. And I don't know. Oh, this is very important. Join our Facebook group, facebook.com. Join our Miserable Retail Slave Facebook group. We've got a public group now, and I tell you what, it's been really spicy lately. All these dominatrixes and women with whips try to join it because I guess they see, I don't know, Facebook changed some of their whatevers. So now all of a sudden, all these BDSM people are trying to join the Facebook group because it's called Miserable Retail Slave.
Oh, yeah.
And I only added fuel to the fire today because we talked on the last episode all about foot fetishes. So, god damn it, who knows what sort of shit we're going to get now. So, if you're a ordinary, somewhat ordinary, person, please join the Facebook group, Miserable Retail Slave. Search it on Facebook. That would be great,
And if this podcast gets 50 shares, Randy will purchase some assless chaps.
Absolutely.
And post pictures on the Facebook. The private Facebook or the public Facebook?
Public, yeah.
Public.
Yeah. You assume I don't already own a pair of assless chaps.
That's true. I apologize.
You got a lot of assumptions,
I'm an assumption.
Yeah, you are.
See what I did there?
We'll see you next time. Until then, stay miserable. Bye-bye.